Hi there, welcome or welcome back to the Books R Us. I'm filming this on the second day of Christmas or Boxing Day, so we'll have to work with this for today, I'm sorry. But today we are going to run through my to-be-read for January. If you have been following my to-be-reads for a while, you know that I talk about a lot of books here. I always have a lot of options. And this time I'm going to try and decide which books I definitely want to read and which of these are just options for the upcoming years, upcoming 15 or 20 years even. Now, per usual, we are starting off with some series. The first of which is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I have all three here, which are The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages. I have never read anything by Brandon Sanderson, and it is one of my goals this year to do so. But if I'm being honest, I don't think I will be starting these this January. So I'm putting these on the probably not pile. The next series is the Legendborn series by Tracy Deonn. I also have Bloodmarked here, and pretty soon, I believe in January, the third book will be released, which is called Oathbound. I'm looking forward to reading these, but once again, I don't know if I'll be starting an actual series in January, because I have a lot of standalones that I think I really want to read, and I'll get to those in a bit. Then we have The Divine Rivals duology by Rebecca Ross. I know that a lot of people have read these, I haven't yet. And these are the first books that I'm going to put on the probably pile. And my last series is the Wolf Hall series by Hilary Mantel. We have Wolf Hall, Bring Up the Bodies, and The Mirror and the Light. Now these are quite dense if you look at them. And as I said before, except for that duology, I'm not going to start any series, but I don't know why I get more interested in history when January starts, because one of the standalone books that I have here is Unruly by David Mitchell. Now, David Mitchell is another author that I really want to read something from, because I haven't read anything yet. I don't know if it is going to be this one though. This one is going on a probably not pile, but I know that his book Cloud Atlas is highly recommended, so I might turn to that one later this year. Now, following history books, I have some classics that I think I should read. First of which is Of Mice and Men by Steinbeck. I think that people who grew up in English-speaking countries often read this one in high school, but we didn't, of course. And the other one I have is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. If I read this would be a reread. I have read this at university, but I was interested because I don't really remember a lot about it. And at the beginning of this year, at the beginning of 2024, I read Demon Copperhead, which is this modern day rewriting of David Copperfield, and that is why I was interested in giving this another go. Sticking with the classics, I have some Shakespeare. Now, when I was studying, I actually read all Shakespeare's plays, but I read them back to back, probably mostly so I could say that I read all Shakespeare's plays. And because of that, not all of them stuck. And the first one that I want to read is King Lear. And I want to read this one because we watched the show Succession. And apparently that one was sort of based on King Lear because of, well, the succession aspect and the three children that want to succeed their father. So that is why I wanted to give this one another go. And then another one that I wanted to reread is Macbeth, but I have a specific reason for that, and that is this book, namely Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid, which I really want to get to. And I wanted to read Macbeth again before I read Lady Macbeth, just to see how much everything adds up, or where her own invention kicks in or something like that. So that's that. And then because I wanted to read Shakespeare, I thought it would be fun to read If We Were Villains by ML Rio, because of all the quotes that are apparently in here, and because these students are, I think, putting on a play by Shakespeare, or are studying Shakespeare or something of the sort. So I thought that would be a nice addition to this list. Now, if you've been on my channel before, you know that I did a read in the past year, which was me reading a book by Ava Reid and a book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I wanted to do a round 2 for that one. So because I would be reading an Ava Reid, I also wanted a Taylor Jenkins Reid, which would be Carrie Soto is Back. Because I was looking for another power woman to compare to Lady Macbeth, and I think this book might be the right book for that. Because there is no other reason to put this book in January to be read, because the cover is definitely giving me summer and not winter. Now from Carrie Soto is Back, I'm moving forward to other books that are about modern day women. First of which would be Margot's Got Money Troubles by Ruthie Thorpe, which seemed interesting for January. And the other one is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio, which is the story about all these different husbands that are coming out of the attic, and the woman gets to try out which one fits her best or something like that. It seemed like fun. Moving on to books that are somehow January related, we have a very specific one here, which is The 10,000 Doors of January, because it has January in the title. Now, I think this January is about the character in the book that is named January and not about the actual month. And this one is written by Alex Harrow. And then because this one said 10,000 Doors, I included The Book of Doors, which is written by Garrett Brown. Just because it says doors again, and well, January is the first month opening up in the new year. Then January also reminds me of snow, which we'll be getting more of, hopefully, because we only had a little bit in December. We did not have a white Christmas over here. I hope you did, if you are into snow. But the first book for that would be White Nights by Dostoevsky, which has been trending a lot recently. The next snowy book would be The Wolf Border by Sarah Hall, which is about a woman who is studying wolves. That's all I know. Then we have Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. Now, I definitely want to read a Frederick Bachman. I still haven't read one by him. I thought that I would be reading A Man Called Ove a lot sooner, but it hasn't happened yet. But I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I thought I could read this one by itself, but I have heard by now that there are 2 more sequels to this one, so let me know if I can read this on its own. Another one for the snowy vibes is A Castle in the Clouds by Kirsten Gier, which I think is more of a romantic book. I think an easy romantic book. And the last one that was giving me snow is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I definitely want to read this one. It has been in my bookcase for quite a while now, and I've heard only good things about it, so definitely hope to get around to this one. From snow in January to darkness, because we still have quite some dark months ahead of us. First we have The Dark is Rising by Susan Cooper, which probably has nothing to do with actual darkness, but probably evil rising up. Once again, I think this is a book that a lot of English-speaking people will have read already, but I haven't. And another dark, nightish cover was this one, The Narrow Road Between Desires by Patrick Rothfuss. But honestly, I'm just waiting for the 3rd book in the Kingkiller Chronicles, so please, Patrick, please, give us that. From more literal darkness, I'm moving on to more figurative darkness. And I actually seem to have quite a lot of more dark or sad stories planned for January. First of which is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This one is about a couple of women, or 30 women or something like that, who are kept in a cage underground. And they don't ask questions, and then they start to figure out what is going on with them, or how they are being abused in a way. I'm not sure, but it seemed interesting. Then we have Boulder by Eva Balthazar, which seems kind of sad. Next we have My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I am a bit apprehensive going into this one because I know it is about a student-teacher relationship, and that is a theme that I actually don't like reading about because it gives me the ick. But I have heard over and over again that this one is really good, so I should give it a try, I guess. Then we have Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. This one is about a girl who is brought up in a difficult situation, I believe, or a difficult situation at home. Next is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. Also a very sad story, I believe, and I think a true story as well, just like Betty. And the last sad one on the list is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. This one is quite a tome, but I have heard very good things about this one as well. Moving on to my last category, which is poetry. I have missed reading poetry. I have read some in 2024, but it has been a while now. And the first one is Howl and Other Poems by Allen Ginsberg. I've known about this one through the Gilmore Girls. Actually, this is the book that Jess steals from Rory's room and that he annotates. So I'm curious to read this one. And then we have The Flame by Leonard Cohen. Now I am a huge fan of Leonard Cohen's lyrics for his songs, so I am very curious to read his poetry. This would be the first time for me. But I might be reading poetry alongside my novels, just because I want to read like 1 or 2 poems a day and not read this in one go, because I don't think it will stay with me as much if I do that. And now to try and organize all these books into what I definitely want to read, what I maybe want to read, and what I probably won't read. How many books did I talk about even? 37 books. No one can read that in a month, right? Alright, I wanted to stay realistic, and realistically I wanted to set myself up with like 5 books. Which was not possible. It's more than 5 books. But these are the ones that I would really like to read. It's the 2 Shakespeares, and I hope they won't take me that much time, because these are both plays, of course, and I don't think they are that long. Then I really want to read the 3 books that I am connecting to these Shakespearean plays, because I am going to want to keep that momentum going. I definitely want to read Howl because it's very short and it should be very much doable to put that one in here and read some poetry. And then the last one that I really want to read this month is The Unmaking of June Farrow, because I really feel that I have to get through these books that have been on my reading list for so long. This month it has been The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue that I really wanted to get through finally, and this would be the one for January that I really finally should have read. Now, if you agree or disagree with me, please let me know in the comments. Please like or subscribe if you haven't done so already. It would mean a lot to me. And I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye!